told you, Mom. I told you.
Stop waiting for life to be easy. Stop hoping for somebody to save you. You don't need another person lying to you. Things don't all add up. But you are resilient. Face some hard facts and you could have an incredible life.
If you love something, if you have a strong passion for something, you would go to the extreme to try to understand or try to get it.
UFC champion, you know the whole BJ Penn era came up and whatever, and I wanted to be a UFC champion. You know, if these guys can do it, why not me? You know, that's my mentality. You know, if that should be your mentality in life. You know, in anything. Like if those guys can do it, why not you?
Dreams without goals are just dreams.
Come on.
And ultimately, they fuel disappointment.
Exactly.
On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency, because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish.
Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times.
But the first step you have to do is face yourself and be accountable for what you're not. So then you can be what you want to be.
Decide now. What is it you want? Plant your goal in your mind. It's the most important decision you'll ever make in your entire life. You want to be an outstanding salesman, a better worker at your particular job? Do you want to go places in your company, in your community? All you've got to do is plant that seed in your mind. Care for it. Work steadily toward your goal, and it will become a reality. It not only will, there's no way that it cannot.
So, don't believe the lies, believe the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done. So, cast out the lies, burn them down, and listen to the truth.
It's not going to be easy. It's a challenge. And sometimes it can be a struggle. But what's wrong with a little struggle? That's how you get better in life. That's what makes you a better person. That's what's going to make you better in anything you do in life. Don't get comfortable. Don't get complacent. Understand the struggles are going to come. Understand they're going to be challenges. But love yourself. Get inside yourself and love you.
And so this success comes on the heels of years and years of failures. So it's not just a case of you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to fail again.
Again.
And again. And again. It's getting back up. Some people are afraid of falling that first time. Well then, but it's if we had quit getting up, 10 years ago. So it's just getting up again and again and again. And every time you fail, you learn from it. So that failure was necessary. That failure was positive. That failure taught you another piece of the puzzle that you're going to need when you finally succeed. You're only going to have what you need to succeed because you gained it from your failures. And if you don't have any failures, you don't have anything to build your success on.
You always have an opportunity. If you're the small fish, be the small fish, but be the best small fish.
Look, if I can do it, why not you? Believe in yourself and don't try to be the next me. Don't. Too much people, there's too much copycats in this game. Go be you.
I'm human. I'm just like you. What I have will not keep me on this earth for one more day. I never looked at things as problems. I look at them as opportunities.
Just suppose you're sitting at the controls of such a vast source of energy. Are you going to sit back and fold your arms and let it run itself into a ditch? Or are you going to keep both hands firmly on the wheel and control and direct this power to a specific, worthwhile purpose? It's up to you. You're in the driver's seat. You see, The very law that gives us success is a two-edged sword. We must control our thinking. The same rule that can lead a man to a life of success, wealth, happiness, and all the things he's ever dreamed of for himself and his family, that very same law can lead him into the gutter. It's all in how he uses it.
It's very important as you hold on to that dream. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times that are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day.
Normal people with normal minds can't understand that. So then you become a liar or this and that. But now I got to the point in my life where I'm like, go fuck yourself, dude. If you don't believe it, go ahead. But I don't talk about a lot because I know what I've done, and I know what the mind can do and where it can take you. I've experienced it over and over, and my mom has seen it over and over and over again, to the point where it's almost like I can't even believe sometimes, but I'm willing to go there. I want to push myself to that limit and see what happens.
The only thing you can do is do the best you can do to learn how to take better risks, and that comes from experience. You're going to have to lose. You're going to lose. If you don't understand this, you're going to suffer, because you're going to lose anyway, and all you're going to do is ask why. Nobody's going to give you a response because they're possibly too busy losing, or they just want to hurt your feelings and tell you, well, you didn't do anything.
You have to know, you have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They're lies, all of them. Think about the things that you tell yourself, the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Think about them. You don't have time. That's a lie. You don't have support. That's a lie. You don't have the equipment or the gear. Lies. You don't know the best way. Who cares? That's a lie. Or you're too old, or you're too young. Of course you're too old or too young. Lie. And there's, you're too busy. Sure you are. That's a lie.
You can make all the mistakes you want to make or think you shouldn't make. God is in the get it together business. If you got dreams and visions, I got news for you. God is in the make your dream come true business. He did it for me. How he won't do it for you?
When I was 12 years old, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm gonna have some money one day and I'm gonna buy you a Mercedes, and I did. When I came and I asked my grandmother, I said, Granny, what do you want? She always called me her baby. She never called me by my name. I said, you want me to buy you a car and teach you how to drive? She said, no, son, I don't want that. I said, Granny, do you want jewelry? She said, no, son, I don't want that. She said, son, I want a decent house. And I'm thinking, I said, well, my grandmother wants 7,000 to 8,000 square feet. But then I knew my grandmother, knowing her like I know her, after pausing for 5 or 6 minutes, I said, Granny, what is a decent home? And I remember it like yesterday, and it was 30 plus years ago. She said, son, I want a decent home. And her words verbatim is, she said, son, I want to go to bed one night. And she said, I want God to let it rain as hard as he possibly can. And I want him to let it rain all night long. And she said, I want to wake up and not be wet. That's a decent home for my grandmother. That's all she wanted.
You'll never get it all. But it takes, it's like anything else that you want to master. You've constantly studying it. You live it, you sleep it, you eat it, you breathe it, you study it, you dream it. You humble yourself and learn from anybody. you humble yourself and get out there and make mistakes and learn from your own mistakes.
How do you expect things to go your way if you don't start out whatever way that's there and accept it? Sometimes to go the right way, you gotta go the wrong way. How do you know how to go the right way if you haven't went the wrong way yet? Ask anybody that's successful what they tell you. They took risk. And ask them was they broke. Most of the time they'll say plenty of times. Besides the people that inherited money, we're not talking about them. A lot of people will tell you, if not all of them, they'll tell you they were broke. And they lost a lot. But they learned. They learned and they adapted. And that's beautiful. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing.
Is you have to believe that you are here on this earth. So what changed my whole mindset, really? I was thinking, like, why the hell did God put me here? What am I doing here? If you have that mentality, you could be nothing. You have to believe that you are here for a reason. That there's some reason. Me getting beat up, me getting tortured, me being bullied, me being born with no foundation, me having to figure all this shit out on my own, figure out this indestructible mental toolbox, had to be for a reason.
As you run toward your dream, it's necessary that you have goals, that you write those goals down, that you plan, that you think constantly of how you can begin to improve what it is that you're doing. If it's your presentations, if it's your recruiting skills, whatever that is, it's also necessary that you look for ways to always find a way to pull it out when everybody else thinks that you are defeated. That you've got to take personal responsibility to know that in order to become successful, you've got to make it your personal business to do it.
Stop chasing people. Stop trying to get people to like you. Stop trying to get people to approve of your well-being. You are who you are and what you are. Now, as long as you're going in the right direction and you're going about life in the right way, then you're doing a fine job. Now, everybody's not going to accept you and like what you do and maybe be impressed with what you're doing. But as long as you're satisfied with what you are and who you are. But don't get comfortable with yourself. Don't get complacent with yourself. Always try to excel and go further than where you are right now. Be the best makeup of yourself. Don't try to compete with other people. Don't try to get involved with other people and what they're doing and their has-beens or whatever the case may be. The bottom line is, are you happy and are you truly feeling right within yourself? Are you righteous within yourself? The question is, do you love yourself? Do you like yourself? Are you pleased with yourself? Are you willing to go further? That is the goal. Because as long as you keep trying to chase something that's not really meant to be in your life, you're not going to have a life. So get past that, move forward, work hard, and be the best makeup of yourself.
Because you're not going to ever set realistic goals and then have the tiny little realistic actions produce the result that you're trying to get. And I know a lot of people try to block this out along the way. They try to say, well, this is a little milestone and that's my next goal. And this is a little milestone and that's my next goal. And that's fine, except the actions that are taken in those little steps are always little. They're not massive. And we're capable of producing massive action and building massive results. Like, dude, it's not that much harder to take action against a massive goal than it is a small goal. You have X amount of energy that needs to be expended. You have X amount of time that needs to be applied. And the time and the energy that need to be expected for a small goal and a big goal are really not that much different. So if you're going to be working and you're going to be putting the time in and you're going to be sweating and grinding and be frustrated and do all this shit that you got to do, you might as well try to be the best in the world at it, because it's going to take the same amount of time and energy anyway. I don't want shit, because how I'm wired to, hey mom, I'm gonna get you this, and this. My girl, everybody's got everything. I don't even own a fucking car, and I'm a multi-millionaire. And I say that with pride. Yeah. Because what I was here to do as a man, and men may not even want to hear this, it sounds so barbaric. That's the pride in which you have as a man, is that you see your mom, you see your girl, you see your kids, you see all this shit, you see them doing well. That's all a real man wants. They don't give a how they dress, how they look, what they're driving. They don't give a shit. Because why? Your trophies are your family, and they're all walking around. Every man that sees you, they see you walk in with some sweatpants and shit, but they know your family's fucking balling. That's right. Because you put the time in, you put the effort in, you put the work in, and as a man, we don't want none of that shit. We just want respect. Amen. And that's what men don't give a about now. But the one thing I want is for my family to look at me and say, that's the man.
God gave all of you a gift. Identify your gift. It is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Get busy at that. If it's drawing, if it's teaching, if it's sharing, if it's caregiving, he put that gift inside of you. He didn't hide it under a rock or put it under the mountain or put it on the mountain somewhere. He put the gift in you.
Go back to what you want to do. What's your purpose? We can't figure our purpose out or why we're here or why we're even born or whatever because it's so loud in our mind. We don't have any quiet time with ourselves to sit back and say, what do I really want? There's so many different dialogues in our head that we can't think. So my biggest thing is you have to be alone in a very dark place in your mind to think about what is important to you.
Everything you do, every move that you make has to be strategic and be purposely done. I no longer just go to parties, I party with a purpose. I no longer just go to random lunches and dinners and make moves just randomly. Everything that I do is connected to a plan, a strategy that's going to connect the dots because God gives us free will. And God allows you on your own to connect the dots and make the moves that you're making to get you from where you are to where you're trying to be. I am now in a new season of my life. People are in your life for a reason. Other people are there for a season. And it's important to recognize when people's seasons are over. Because if you drag this dead weight, if you allow your boat to be over its capacity and you try and move it from this season of your life into the new season of your life, you're going to find that these people are going to set your life and your career up to crash and burn. And you are not going to get to the level that God has destined your life and your career to get to.